Facebook has locked me out of my account, and I'm really, really, completely just, so mildly inconvenienced. It happened almost over a year ago, and it's just now having any kind of bearing on my life. It really has been just a little over a year since I've done anything on Facebook. I just got to the point where I wasn't interested in scrolling through hours and hours of junk. I think it's worth pointing out that Mark Hamill, the actor that voiced the Joker on the Batman animated series and played Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, he quit about a month ago. And just as I was finishing this, I'd read that the master of horror himself, Stephen King, has announced that he's quitting Facebook. Both of them citing all of the misinformation that Facebook is allowing on their site. King has gone even further by encouraging his fans to quit Facebook too. And in some ways, I think he's right, but it's more than just misinformation, it's all the other stuff that Facebook is doing as well. Now, Facebook, once upon a time, was a great place to connect with friends and family. Now it's not because of all of the junk drowning out the posts from people that I actually want to connect with. And now I connect with them over the phone or texting, or in some cases I just go over to their house. All of my friends and family at some point has said that they don't do or post as much on Facebook. Now the only reason why I want to get back onto Facebook is because there is one friend in Ohio that I don't have any other way to contact with. Honestly, as soon as I've got another way to communicate with them, or if I do get back on Facebook and can get a hold of them, I'm probably going to find another way to communicate with them. And I'll be done with Facebook altogether. Now what happened was, about a year ago, I hadn't logged in a couple of months. And after a few months of inactivity, Facebook decided that for me to get back in, someone that I was friends with was going to have to tag me in a photo. And many of my friends and family have offered to do just that. And every time someone's offered, I've replied, "Nah, honestly, would rather you didn't." Because Facebook doesn't have a lot of photos of me. I don't take selfies, and the few people that do take photos at events and places I go generally don't share those photos on Facebook. And I'm one of those people that will never use their real face for the icon on a social media account, even on Main Street. It's mostly just me having fun. It's not like I'm trying to keep some high level of anonymity. Being active on YouTube kills that pretty quick. I don't want anyone to tag me on Facebook because I don't trust Facebook, and I'm not alone. Facebook settled with the state of Illinois for $550 million. Facebook had been taking photos and the tag data and were using to build facial recognition software without the permission of the people whose photos are being used. The reason it's only $550 million is because it's a violation of a state law regarding biometric data in Illinois. Now, I don't know the details of that law, and at some point I may find myself looking into that. I don't like the idea of facial recognition software because we're already seeing it used in immoral and oppressive ways. China has something called their social score, and as part of that, they have used facial recognition software to publicly shame people with the objective of shaming people into being better Chinese citizens. Now, London has paired facial recognition software with their massive network of closed-circuit cameras. The idea being that they could use that to hunt wanted criminals much easier. But it had a false positive or failure rate of 97%. Meaning just about every time that they flagged a criminal, more often than not, it was wrong. And the argument that it's just a matter of time before the system gets down to just a 9% error rate, that doesn't make me feel any better at all. Even if it's just a 1% error rate, that's still a bad idea. Law enforcement are humans and they make mistakes. They also become too trusting of machines and software they use. I could see someone getting hauled in simply because they happen to be wearing a ball cap that a criminal once wore back when he was in middle school. And the police have a practice of using a little bit of evidence to scare people into confessing to crimes. It doesn't matter if that person actually committed the crime or not. And there have been plenty of times when the evidence used was just completely wrong. Of course, it should also be stated that there's been plenty of times when there just wasn't any evidence at all. When it comes to Facebook having this kind of a system, I'm also worried about who else they're selling this service to. Advertisers? That doesn't sound good. Oppressive government regimes? Yeah. Some random dude who's still hung up about his breakup and wants to know who's stopping by his ex-girlfriend's apartment after work? That may be a bit of a stretch, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Especially if you remember that Facebook initially had auto-tagging on by default. And if you think about that for a moment, you can quickly see how that would be a real boon to jealous ex-lovers all over the world. Considering the FTC fined Facebook $5 billion for violation of the consumer privacy rights, Facebook is by no means the apex of internet privacy, even after rolling out a new privacy app at CES, which is why I'm picking on Facebook again. This new app is supposed to show what is being gathered by who and give you the option to stop the tracking. Well, some of the tracking. Facebook and a few partners are still going to track you. And Facebook has a lot of ways of tracking you. If you use their mobile app, they know your location. They know where you go and where you've been. They know what apps you use on that cell phone or tablet. And last I knew, the location privilege was on by default. You have to turn it off. Facebook tracks you on any site that gives you the option to share with Facebook. The share this on Facebook buttons on just about any blog and WordPress site, Facebook tracks you through those. It's a unique ID. They know what site uses those buttons. Now, Facebook ads, those are all full of tracking too. And it's not just the ads that load on Facebook, it's the ads that Facebook serves to websites that are not Facebook, like Instagram. Yeah, they track you through the ads. All of this works when you're not logged into Facebook. When you do log into Facebook, Facebook looks at the cookies stored in your browser and fills in the gaps. That way it knows what websites you've been to when they don't have tracking means on those sites. Unless you're running blocking software, they have a pretty high resolution tracking system. I'm not able to log in. Chances are they're still tracking me. Even with the blocking software I'm running, they are still getting some kind of data on my activities. The app they released doesn't stop enough tracking to be worth using. Great. You get to see what they're gathering. And a lot of it doesn't look all that invasive. But the question I have, and I can't seem to find an answer to, is does the Facebook privacy app tell you how that data is being used? I think this is the best way that I can explain this. The data they are gathering on you, and they're going to great lengths to link your activity to your identity. They're not going to use it to make more entertaining TV shows. It isn't gathered to make tastier snacks. It isn't to make cars safer. It isn't to reduce crime. It isn't to reduce world hunger. It isn't to fight homelessness. It isn't to stop people from using hard drugs. They are gathering your data to use it on you. To use it to manipulate you without you noticing that they're doing it. The ability to manipulate Facebook users is the service Facebook sells to other companies and organizations that do not care what's best for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. To subscribe, click the channel icon on the top left. Top right is the previous video, and below that is a random suggestion from YouTube. Thanks again.